fades through white. Why does it fade through white? I know I'm early. I'm sorry. Bad noise. I still have to clean my oh wow, this is like not working. I wonder if you can. Oh, it's because I'm not in the middle of my screen. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. I'm gonna sit over here. Actually, I guess I need to do that in order to be on the vertical. I'm sweating. Oh my god, it's so warm. Why is it so warm? Why is it so warm in here? Oh my god, I'm a sweaty little Betty. Anyway, good day. Good day. Good day. I'm feeling like rather like way in your face, and it's just not. I'm not in the mood for that one. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? I don't know. Is that? Oh, this is a fake. That's a fake chat. Okay. Oh, there we go. There's a real chat. Oh my god, I am sweating so bad. Hello, how are you? Welcome to Wake and Bake with Lolo. I'm Lolo, and this is Wake and Bake. I'm early. I know. I'm all over the place. I think it's really a good indication of just how all over the place I really am. Anyway, good morning. Good morning. Guten Morgen. There is a lot today to get to, and I was watching the. Wow, cannot believe how warm I am. All of a sudden, like, it must be a hot flash. It's actually not a hot flash. I've already gone through that. You do have 5 minutes to get yourself a beverage. I'm completely disorganized. Don't worry about it. Oh, actually, I'm closer to my start time than I thought I was. That's not that bad. But yeah, happy Thursday. I think it's Thursday. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. If I call Ben, good day, good day. Good day, everybody. And can I get a mod? No, I'm sorry, you can't. I'm sorry. Uh-oh, we have the, I think it's the, I don't know what's going on. It might be the vertical. Maybe the vertical's coming in. So anyway, yeah, stop spamming the chat, please. Let's see. Sorry. Sorry, you can't be here. Wow, what did we get all of a sudden? How did we get so many weirdos in here? Hi. Oops. Oh god. Hold on. What am I doing? What am I doing? There we go. There we go. A little raid. That's okay. Thank you for the engagement. I appreciate it. It helps the stream. Keeps me on my toes too. I like that. Anyway, happy Thursday, everybody. How are you? I hope you're well. Welcome to. Oh, did I pin somebody's comment? Oh, I hope I didn't. I don't know what I'm doing over here. I have a vertical going, and I think the vertical is the problem. But hold on. Anyway. You're not seeing the chat. Oh, okay. Wait, hold on. There we go. There we go. Can you see it now? Oh, is there something? I wonder if there's something weird in the settings. Hold on. Let me go over here. Hold on. I'll fix this. I have a new streaming platform, so it might be a little wonky, but hold on. Let's just see. Do 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 do. Ah, shut up, lady. Oh, I see. Yeah, we're getting a lot of people over here. Community moderation. Community moderation. Yeah. damn it. That's not what I wanted. Do. Had to shut YouTube and reopen it. Yeah, that's vertical chat. Yeah, that's what it is. But I gotta fix it because it's actually I could probably just like stop. Whoops. Wait, can I get rid of the vertical? Okay, now I'm on vertical. Oh, okay. All right. All right. Have fun over there. Let me see if I can. Oh, I think I can do it here. Oh my God, why does it do this? Why? Why are you doing this? Yeah, go back to horizontal. Don't stay there. I should probably just I need to end the vertical somehow. Isn't that funny? Why can't I do it? Oh well. What's moderation activity? What does that mean? This is also very interesting. Oh well. I'll just have to get rid of people as they come in. Hold on, just a little housekeeping. Do. That's okay. I'll just have to keep an eye on it. 5 watching horizontal and 10 vertical. Woo! They're not 10 real people though. I don't think they're real people. I think they're just bots. It's just bots. It's an experiment to see if it helps. It's an experiment to see if it helps with growing the channel, but it probably won't. So that's fine. Hi, Grace Lisa. Did you sneak in and I didn't see you? Where are you? I didn't even see you. Where are you? Oh my gosh, I can't even see her. Anyway, good day. I mean, I really do have other things to talk about other than, trolls on the internet. So, good day, everybody. I hope you've had a very lovely Thursday so far. I have a lot of things I want to share with you today, and let's shush your mouth. And I think I'm going to start with some reading, actually. Yeah, I think I'm going to start with some reading. Well, actually, let me start with the other. I'm going to start with. I'm going to start with the Mark Wayne Mullen and Turd Blanche presser this morning. I think it's a good idea if you want to grow following. Well, we'll see. I don't know. So there was a skunk outside my bedroom window in the middle of the night, and it must have gotten startled. I thought it was weed smell. Oh, no. That's terrible. Oh, my Lord. Lord. That's terrible. Oh, poor skunk. Poor skunk, too, right? Got scared. Okay, wait, what am I doing? Oh, yeah. Where are those boys? Where are those boys? Where are those? There they are. Okay. Because I want to bring up the children missing from the country. Critter country. I love that though. I love that. I love the country. I like the country life. Even though it sometimes animals make your place smell. I don't know. That's bad. Okay, I want to play this because I'm sure some of you have seen it if you haven't all seen it, so I apologize for that. But I wanted to watch a few things about this. Trying to think of where.
In some cases, individuals would sponsor multiple children, which required them to lie to government personnel and on government forms, claiming they were close relatives when in fact they were not. They would use fake or stolen identities and make other false claims during the application process in order to obtain custody of the children. I think I'm stating the obvious, that when government fails to protect our borders, it is the most vulnerable who suffer. And this department and this administration has zero tolerance for unlawful activity and is committed to protecting children who suffered the consequences of open borders. Today, we are announcing the indictments of 3 individuals: Maritza Kawik-Koch, her brother, Carlos Agustin Kawik-Koch, and Gladys Marina Call-Chen. This was out of the Northern District of Ohio. All 3 are illegal aliens from Guatemala who allegedly took part in a wide-ranging conspiracy to smuggle more than a dozen children into the United States by scamming the system and exploiting the loopholes created by the last administration. This is one example, one indictment, but it is not unique. There are over 15,500 super sponsor cases that we have identified along with DHS.
Hey, Mr. Spock.
And again, these super sponsor cases are when somebody sponsors more than 3 children, unrelated, and they're unaccompanied minors that come in the United States. I also want to announce today, from the same district in Ohio, the Northern District, the sentencing of another criminal illegal alien who was convicted, also from Guatemala. He was a 27-year-old man who came to the United States, smuggled in a 14-year-old child by submitting false paperwork and lying on the forms, claiming to be her brother, proceeded to sexually assault this young woman. And these 2 cases, while only 2, help explain how...
What's wrong with his back? Like his jacket is trying to leave his body. His jacket is trying to leave his body. Yeah, okay, well, let's talk about those. Well, now it's 475,000. Jesus, it used to be just 300,000 kids missing. Now it's 475,000. Oh, but they found 147,000. Really? Really? All right, so yet again, I'm going to explain to people, going back to November 2024. Good morning, Teresa. And talk about where are these kids? Who's missing? What is missing? Because when I watched this press conference this morning, that was a whole bunch of lies, a whole bunch of scare tactics, and frankly, the biggest demonstration of how little they care about children, which is shocking given that they're all ignoring the child rapists that they work for. So, there's that. So this is an old piece from November of 2024 from the BBC. Are 300,000 migrant children missing in the U.S.? Because this was a big deal, if you remember, on the campaign trail, right? Do you recall? The 300,000 children are missing. Donald Trump's incoming border czar, Tom Homan, has said that the U.S. government can't find more than 300,000 migrant children, and that many, many have been lured into forced labor and sex trafficking. Many, not how many, but, many. So anyway, yeah, okay. You love pedophiles. Boy, some of these guys really love their pedophiles. They don't want to take them away. Don't take away my pedophile. I don't know. It's crazy. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Some experts have accused them of distorting statistics to suggest that the children are lost and victims of crime, although there is agreement that aspects of the system need to be changed. Yeah, no kidding. Oh my God, what is going on? What did I do? What have I done? I think I'm gonna have to. Can I stop that? I just don't know if I can stop it. Can I stop it? Can I end that? I don't know. I don't know. Isn't that weird? Why would I not be able to stop it? Okay, well, it doesn't really matter. All right. Sorry. Testing in real time. Testing. But the incoming administration has made immigration enforcement a priority, promising to clamp down on U.S.-Mexico border and conduct mass deportations of undocumented immigrants. Let's take a look at the claims of missing migrant children. What are the Trump team claims? In an interview with Fox News on 26th of November, just before a visit to the U.S.-Mexico border in Texas, Holman accused the Biden administration of bragging about how quickly children are released from custody, as well as not properly vetting adult sponsors in the U.S. Shame on them, he said of the Biden administration. They have over 300,000 children that they've released to unvetted sponsors that they can't find. That sounds terrible. Many are going to be in forced labor, many forced sex trade, Holman added. We need to save these children. Yeah, Trump's tariffs on countries that endorse child labor, that's hilarious. That's hilarious because they never cared about that before. And if you're an expert in trafficking, it actually is incredibly difficult to totally scrub a supply chain because you have to count on a lot. It's a whole thing. Yet again, another example of Dunning-Kruger where these guys don't know how things work, so they just assume they're working wrong. But that's not how it happens. In October debate against Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, J.D. Vance also said the Department of Homeland Security effectively lost a total of 320,000 migrant children. Concerns over the plight of migrant children were also starkly highlighted. I am so fucking offended by these lies. Yeah. I agree. Shared an image when authorities in Texas shared an image of a 2-year-old girl from El Salvador found at the border clutching a piece of paper with a phone number. Putting optics over safety has led to countless children in danger or unaccounted for, Tennessee Republican Mark Green told the New York Post. This refusal to protect alien children from abuse, exploitation, and trafficking will be one of the defining failures of the Biden-Harris administration. But are they actually missing? No. According to immigration experts and attorneys, the claims largely stem from an August report from the Department of Homeland Security, August 2024, in which found that 32,000 unaccompanied minors failed to show up for court dates at immigration courts from 2019 to 2023. The report noted that 291,000 migrant children received no court notices at all. It also called on the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement to take immediate action to ensure the safety of unaccompanied migrant children in the U.S. Migrant children who do not appear for court are considered at higher risk for trafficking, exploitation, or forced labor, the Inspector General's office reported. But Aaron Reichen-Melnick, policy director at the American Immigration Council, a migrant advocacy group, told the BBC the figures are indicative of a bureaucratic paperwork issue rather than anything nefarious. You're right, Joseph. You're absolutely right. Welcome. Thanks for playing our game. Thank you. When you hear the phrase missing, you think that there's a child that someone is trying to find and can't. That's not the case here. The government has not made any effort to find these children. That's dumb. Many of the children, experts say, may well be at the addresses that are on file with the government, but were simply unable to make their court dates. That doesn't mean something bad happened to them. It means you missed a court hearing. Mr. Reichland-Melnick added that there are valid concerns about exploitation. We cannot, however, suggest that all 320,000 of those children are being labor trafficked. No, Joseph is right. I'm sorry. You get to be blocked because, you said he wasn't right. One thing that should have been changed is Betsy DeVos being linked to adopting the children out. That's trafficking. Yeah, exactly. Hi, Bob. How are you? His 15% levy on Switzerland will show them who's boss, right? He's got some companies in the United States who have a problem with child labor in their fucking supply chains. Apple, gold, cobalt. I mean, there's a bunch of things that children are trafficked in order to create, and they're part of a lot of supply chains. So Good luck. I think that's a great, I would love to see you do that, actually. Eric Ruark, an immigration researcher with Numbers USA, which calls for tighter border controls, said that the children are difficult to track because some combination of apathy, incompetence, and bureaucratic inefficiency. Okay. Many, hopefully even most, are safe with carrying sponsors, but the Biden administration, blah, blah, blah. What happens to children? Okay, so this is last year. I want to also go, which I'll link that article in here. This is the report that started it all. This is the OIG report for the Department of Homeland Security, which I will also include in the, and it was a management alert. ICE cannot monitor all unaccompanied migrant children released from DHS and U.S. Department. I mean, that's a fact. And if they want to fix that, I think that's a fantastic idea. They should really fix that. Oops. And then we had this piece also from a while back, December of 2024, from CBS News. So he's talking again about the 300,000 children who are right now sex slaves. Okay, can't believe he does this. But immigration experts tell CBS News these claims are misleading, misrepresent government data. Additionally, they say while some unaccompanied minors have become victim of trafficking or other crimes, the government safely releases most of these children to vetted sponsors, often a family member, while their immigration cases play out. So this is literally, Republicans began making claims that more than 300,000 had been lost after the Department of Homeland Security released the August report, which showed that Immigration and Customs and Enforcement did not serve notices to appear in court to 291,000 children between 2019, when Trump was president, and May 2024. I'm going to read that again. The claims happened after the Department of Homeland Security released a report that showed that Immigration and Customs Enforcement did not serve notices to appear in court to about 291,000 children between the 5-year period 2019 to 2024. That is where this comes from. So it's not that they, and in fact, there are agencies who know exactly where these children are, including people like the Office of Refugee Resettlement and others. Okay, so they're not lost. Okay, they just don't have, they're not lost. So again, facts are pesky things. But this is literally, we're here again. I wanted to hear the thing that Mullins. Well, first of all, this cunt, this bitch, oops, sorry, who's apparently the head of the Office of Refugee Resettlement, which I've worked closely with because they resettled large groups of people in Maine when I worked in Maine with grieving children. We worked with children from war-torn countries who had come over as part of a refugee resettlement. So I'm well familiar with the ORR. And the ORR also works with a huge agency called Catholic Charities. That's right. Catholic Charities has been part of refugee resettlement in this country for at least well over a decade, if not longer. And so there's also missing in all of these reports of missing children. What is the information from Catholic Charities? Because they know a lot about placement of children when they come in unaccompanied, etc. Okay, so I guess what I'm trying to say is there's a lot that happens with unaccompanied minors. And this is not, what they're portraying is not what is happening. And this woman is about to destroy the Office of Refugee Resettlement. That is her job. So I was hoping to get to the Mark Wayne muffin head.
That's why they're called sanctuary cities.
Oh, yeah. He's
because of
mad at
President Trump's
sanctuary
leadership,
cities.
we're going into those sanctuary
No,
cities.
you're not. No, you're fucking
We have
not.
mayors like Mondami in New York who want to say you're not welcome.
I don't think he said that.
As a mayor, he knows what's happening on the streets.
He's not.
He knows
You don't
who
have
he's
anything
harboring.
to do with New York
And at
City,
this
you
point in
fucking
debating,
cowhead.
by saying that we can't go operate, we're going to. We're going to go find the worst of the worst. We're going to rescue as many kids as we possibly can.
They're not. Oh,
We're
my
going to
God.
enforce our nation's laws.
They're not going to
And we're
save
going to right the
anybody. They're
wrongs
not going to
that the
save
Biden
anybody.
administration turned a blind eye to.
Well, it seems to me that the DHS under Trump also didn't serve notices to part of those children coming over the border. So I'm sorry. Everything they say is completely a lie. Completely a lie. Yeah, Trump says a lot of things. You know what? Canada is involved in child labor. The United States is involved in child labor. China is involved in child labor. Every fucking country that engages in global trade is supporting child labor. Don't get it twisted. Nobody is innocent here. Nobody. No one is innocent here. Every country has turned their back on child labor. Every country. So there. Okay, so that's really all I needed to listen to. I don't need to listen to any more. You guys have probably already listened to him, but that I thought was yeah, here we go again. Here we go again. Here we fucking go again. All right. Then I was thinking about, I'm jumping around just a little bit today, but then I was thinking about what was it? Pulte, Pulte coming into the DNI role and, temporarily, blah, 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 blah. And I was thinking, what has Pulte been doing over on the housing side? Hi, TV2. How are you? Hi, Macaroni. Hi, Macaroni. How you doing? Thank you for sharing Macaroni with us. They're amazing. We love the TV2 live crew. Oh, that's a great name for your group. TV2 live crew. That's a really good one. All right. All right. So let's dive into the world of Bill Pulte. Sorry. Thank you for going down immigration lane with me. Yeah, a plumber. An idiot. He should keep his legs closed. He has too many children. He is the best. Yes, absolutely. Or introducing Mac and Human Being to Lolo's Lounge. Thank you. I shouldn't say sharing because nobody owns anybody here, but yeah. Good people. Good people. I like good people. Good people are good. We need more good people in this world. Chuds used to call us TV2 in the commie crew. Hey, where's the lie? Go ahead, call me that. Speaking of Catholics, if that's what you want to call him, LOL, JVG cuz is leaving the end of the summer. What? What do you mean leaving at the end of the summer? Chief of staff. Oh, uh-oh. Ruh-roh. Or is there trouble in paradise? Paradise by the dashboard light? I don't know. Okay, one of my favorite topics, credit ratings. That Pulte is bad news. Yes, that's right. He's bad news. He belongs in a fucking drunk tank is what he belongs in. And each of us have been TV2 at some point, according to the Chuds. Oh yeah, that's true too, Macaroni. There's a group of people that troll people that got accused of being the same person all the time. And I'm like, that's not how it works. That's not how there's more of us than there are of you. All right. So I wanted to read this and give you a couple of articles just about Bill Pulte and what he's been doing over at Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Okay. Because there's shit happening over in the housing and the credit and the. So let's just go through a couple of these articles if you'll bear with me so we can get some like context for what's happening, whatever estate, I guess, or something like that, whatever that is. He's part of the Pulte Homes, I don't know, kingdom. Classic FICO may soon have a more nostalgic ring to it. And this is again from 2025, November 2025. In a Monday afternoon X post, Federal Housing Finance Agency Director Bill Pulte said his agency is in talks to add the newer FICO 10T to the approved credit scoring models for loans delivered to government-sponsored entities, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. This would be great for consumers and the safety of the mortgage market to have both FICO 10T score and the Vantage Score 4.0, Pulte wrote. Stay tuned, very close to a deal. I don't actually know what this means, but it can't be good because Bill Pulte's a dick. So it's got to just benefit home builders. FICO did not immediately respond to Scotsman Guide. Pulte previously shook up the mortgage credit scoring landscape in July when he announced that lenders would be allowed to use Vantage Score 4.0, a tri-bureau credit scoring model from Vantage Score Solutions, a company jointly owned by the major credit bureaus Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. The FHFA chief touted Vantage Score's incorporation of rent payment data when it is available in a consumer's credit file, writing on social media that the agency was expanding credit access to millions of forgotten Americans, people who live in rural areas, renters who pay their rent on time every month. See, that actually doesn't help anybody. That doesn't help anybody. This doesn't help anybody. So this is, expanding credit access. That doesn't expand credit access. This is going to actually give less people, there are going to be more people denied. All right. There's just going to be more people denied. So this is bullshit. This is trying to, get you to sleep with him, but he's not, he's going to just hurt you. Yeah. Previously, only Classic FICO was approved for Fannie and Freddie loans. FICO 10T, which launched in 2020, uses trended credit bureau data to assess how a borrower's creditworthiness has evolved. FICO 10T was validated and approved for use by Fannie and Freddie in 2022, but it was never officially implemented by the mortgage giants. In a white paper released in July, FICO maintained that its 10T models is 5 times better than Vantage Score at detecting loan losses. Here you go. This is less people getting access to credit. Credit ratings are a way to keep people poor. That's all they do. That's all they do. Vantage Score shot back with an analysis claiming that Vantage Score 4.0 demonstrates substantially superior performance over the incumbent monopoly Classic FICO model. The analysis noted that Vantage Score did not compare its model to FICO 10T due to insufficient data released publicly by FICO. In an interview with Scotsman Guides conducted shortly after competing studies were released, Pulte stressed that the primary driver behind the FHFA's credit score reforms is expanding competition as a fulfillment of the Credit Score Competition Act, which was signed into law in 2018. Again, I cannot believe that this is super great. Now, this actually is this is from April 30th, 2026, and it's from a law firm to their clients. But sometimes these messages or these notes when they're law firms to clients can be really informative because they tend to be less on bullshit sometimes and more on procedure and fact, but we'll see. So this is Brownstein Client Alert, April 30th, 2026. On April 22nd, the Federal Housing Finance Agency announced that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac will update their selling policies to allow a limited number of approved lenders to initially use Vantage 4.0's credit scores. Lenders will maintain the option to use the Classic FICO model or Vantage, with the tri-merge credit reporting requirement remaining intact. Separately, FHFA announced that it would allow for future use of FICO 10T credit scores with the publication of the historical FICO 10T credit scores expected in summer 2026. The Department of Housing and Urban Development also announced that the Federal Housing Administration will allow the use of the Vantage Score and FICO 10T in the coming months. The announcement is a significant step in a long-running process that began in 2018 as a part of the Economic Growth Regulatory Relief and Consumer Protection Act, which included the Credit Score Competition Act and required FHFA to establish a process for validating and approving alternative credit scoring models for enterprise use. The enterprises have stated that both the FICO Score 10T and Vantage 4.0, both approved and validated in 22, are more predictive than classic FICO and provide a more precise assessment of really? Thank you, Total. Thank you. Appreciate you. The enterprises have stated that FICO Score 10T and Vantage, both approved and validated, are more predictive than classic FICO and provide a more precise assessment of credit risk. The models incorporate certain additional credit data, such as rental and utility payment information, when that information is furnished to the credit bureaus. This is a way to stop people from getting access to credit. That's all it is. Let's see. This is all technical stuff. Let me see if it's lenders should indicate their interest. Enterprises will allow future use of 10T in the summer of 10T. Hold on, just looking to see if there's any procedural. No, there isn't. Okay, fine. All right. Let's see, what else did I have? Oh, I'll put the announcement to I have the federal housing announcement on the change. Now this is from March of 2025. I'm trying to give you an idea of who this Bill Pulte is so that you know. This is from the Troutman. This is another law firm, I think. Law Monitor, monitoring the financial services industry to help companies navigate through regulatory compliance. Truth, years ago, we paid off all our credit cards and canceled them because we thought we didn't need them anymore, and our credit score turned to shit. Thank you, human being. Now we have credit cards again and keep ourselves in debt solely for... I'm going to tell you right now, I'm done. I'm so done. Yeah, did they hit anything? They're bombing Elon's facilities. Is he mad about it? Is he going to stop the war? Is he going to stop the war? Anyway. Okay, so this, oops, I decline your silly cookies. This is from March 27th, 2025. So last year. In a significant policy shift under the Dump administration, the new Federal Housing Finance Agency, Bill Pulte, issued an order on March 25th terminating special purpose credit programs supported by the government-sponsored enterprises, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. This directive, effective immediately, will significantly impact banks with mortgage-backed SPCPs. SPCPs, the programs through which financial institutions may consider prohibited basis information when determining whether to extend credit to economically or socially disadvantaged groups, are specifically authorized under the Equal Credit Opportunity Act and Regulation B, but not the Fair Housing Act. Nonetheless, in December 2021, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development Office of Legal Counsel issued a legal opinion stating that SPCPs that address home mortgage credit needs for economically disadvantaged groups and are designed and implemented in compliance with the ECOA and Regulation B generally do not violate the FHA. In February 22, multiple federal agencies, including HUD and FHAA, issued interagency guidance strongly encouraging the use of SPCPs, which again is programs through which financial institutions may consider prohibited basis information when determining whether to extend credit to economically or socially disadvantaged groups. Okay. However, according to the order, which was posted on Director Pulte's social media account, the FHFA has determined that the current level of support for SPCPs is inappropriate for regulated entities in conservatorship, a reference to the FHFA's conservatorship of the GSE, which is the GSE again are general. What are they? Oh, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are the GSEs, government-sponsored entities. Okay, so I'm sorry. All the jargon is very, very hard to keep track of. Nonetheless, Office of Legal issued that address home mortgage for economically disadvantaged groups and are designed and implemented in compliance with the ECOA do not violate the FHA. What does that mean? In February 22, multiple federal agencies issued policy guidance strongly encouraging the use of basically prohibited basis information by financial institutions, both under the ECOA and the FHA. However, according to the order which was posted on Director Pulte's social media account X, the FHFA has now determined that the current level of support for using prohibited information is inappropriate for regulated entities in a conservatorship, a reference to the FHFA's conservatorship of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. The order mandates the immediate termination of use of prohibited information supported by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Those GSEs are permitted to comply with any contractual provision. I have no idea what that fucking says. Our take. What is your take? During the preceding information, the level of support for SPs by the federal regulators is very high. Redlining, especially by federal banking, represents an about face. Business. I think this means that they are allowing people to use previously prohibited information, you know, maybe, I don't know, in approval for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac loans. In the slang of the credit card industry, the customers who pay their statement balance are officially called deadbeats. I know, it's really gross. It's really gross. Yeah, Elon Musk doesn't have factories in the Middle East. What the hell does he have over there? Is it just stuff he's stealing? All right, I'm going to keep, I don't really know what this means, but I feel like the use of prohibited information, consider prohibited basis information. I guess I need a definition of that. Hold on. Because now I'm bothered that I don't know. Prohibited basis information. Oh, it's about fair lending. Okay. Basis. No. Shit. No. Prohibited basis information refers to personal characteristics that lenders, employers, and housing providers are legally forbidden from using to make decisions, such as approving a loan or hiring a worker. Under laws like ECOA, which we just talked about, and FHA, it's illegal to discriminate based on these factors. But what I think Pulte is saying is, yeah, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. All right. So that's Bill Pulte. That's Bill Pulte. It's great. That's great. That's just great. Wow. And he's right now, he is the, right now he's the, he's head of the FHA and all that stuff, but he's also acting DNI. So he's acting in charge of all of our, national security. So the same guy that wants to punish people who are poor would like to also, just kind of completely sell this country down the river. So there's that. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, let's go on because I have more. How do you like it? How do you like it? More. Let me just check one thing. Hold on, we'll watch this. Yay. Okay.
We have breaking news at the Pentagon. We are continuing to follow this big story right now.
What happened?
According to the Pentagon, the hazardous materials team is now scrubbing several locations inside the Pentagon's A-ring. That's the centermost location in that building. And this is a live look there now. So you can't see what they're doing on the inside. And again, I'm still working to find out when exactly this started. We know that there was an ex-post that said that units were, including their hazmat team, were currently operating at the Pentagon along with their Pentagon Force Protection Agency. That doesn't tell us exactly what they have found, but we do know, according to a source, that this is after systems detected a problem with the air quality in the building. So the air quality in that centermost part of the Pentagon, those offices, inside that structure, a device picked up some kind of biohazard scent. And the Pentagon source we've been talking to at Fox News says that they haven't found anything yet. There's no indication that this is nefarious. And there is a shelter in place for people close to that area of the Pentagon. So I would term that as, having been there, it's been many years I've been in that close, but my dad worked there for years. I can tell you that that's a lockdown situation. So no one in, no one out. And they want other people to stay away from that area of the building, and they are testing the air now in several locations to make sure whatever was detected was not a situation that can spread. So I want to get more detail now on exactly how long this incident has been going on, because what's important about that is those areas are tight, and you want to know, well, has it spread? And so, yes, it is great to have people not go into that area. Have they started evacuating anybody out of that building? So we are watching for that. Our Lucas Tomlinson, we are rounding up our team right now. Our Lucas Tomlinson will be live at the White House just moments from now. But as you look at the structure, you can see the enormity. And on any given day, you have thousands of people inside the Pentagon. You have contractors coming in and out. Yeah. I mean, it would be an untold number of people that would be gathered in meetings and that sort of thing inside this huge structure. So with a certain number of them on lockdown at the center point, and also if you can go back, and I don't know, this is file, but our live shots seem to have a better overhead view of the Pentagon. Yeah, you can see that open area in the center. And then all around that, in that first ring, are the offices that we're talking about. And then it just sort of spins on around, and it gets wider and wider and wider. Again, thousands of people. Lucas Tomlinson is live at the White House with more on this. Lucas, what are your sources telling you?
Well, right now, Harris, we have a statement that just came out from the Pentagon, from Pentagon spokesman Sean Parnell. I'll read it for our audience. It says, quote, "The Pentagon has sophisticated systems to ensure the safety of the building and its occupants. These systems have detected an air quality issue necessitating precautionary measures until we determine its significance. The department is executing standard protection protocols, including a shelter in place for the affected area. Response teams are in place and ready to support the building." And we just learned from Arlington County Fire Department, they have dispatched some hazmat units to the Pentagon on any given day. Harris, you mentioned there's about 20,000 people at the Pentagon, the largest office building in the United States, one of the largest office buildings in the world. For now, this appears to be a detection issue, no verification that there is, in fact, actual hazardous material.
It's beer farts. God, look for Cash. He might be around too.
We learned that some areas of the Pentagon are being scrubbed down, but of course, anybody walking into the...
What the fuck got loose in the Pentagon? Okay, was it somebody's lunch in the staff refrigerator? What happened? What in the world? Is somebody carrying something down the hall and then they trip and fall? Yeah, damn it, who cooked fish in the microwave? I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time feeling bad for any of this because I don't, first of all, what happened? Second of all, why? Third, who cares? I don't. I'm sorry.
Pentagon, whether you work there, you've been cleared. The general public cannot just walk into the Pentagon, and certainly anyone carrying any hazardous material you would think would be detected. But tour groups, there are some tour groups.
Have you seen all the criminals that work in the Pentagon, sir? This might not be as shocking as you're pretending it to be. I mean, really. Am I a Friday with microwave? Oh, it's not Friday. Damn it. That's why this is an emergency, because it's not Friday. It is dangerous. Yeah, it took out his wife. Yeah. Yeah, no, it is dangerous. This one sounds like a mix for flamethrower kicks at beer farts and open. Who let Bingo Bongo in here? That's what they're saying.
That do go through the Pentagon, those names again are scrubbed before entering the Pentagon.
Okay,
So
well,
right now
not.
this appears to be an alarm. We have no confirmation that there's actually hazardous material.
Did anyone scrub the hazardous material guy walking in with his shit? I don't know. Does he? No.
Inside the Pentagon.
Ago. And when you go in, you bring up a wonderful point. It's also very hard to even get to the doors that lead into the inner sanctum area. Yep. Where you would see, you know, Secretary of War in those offices. And so getting into that area, you have to have a reason to be there. It's more than just them checking ID and all of that. Yep. But what can you tell me? And of course, you have served. And so I know you've been in and out of that building as well. What can you tell me about the A-ring at the Pentagon, which is where they first detected this hazmat scent through and what they're looking at right now, whether or not it's nefarious or something naturally occurring and just too much of it.
Parts.
If you have a picture of the Pentagon, Harris, to share with our audience, the A-ring is the most closest to the center of the Pentagon. The E-ring would be the outer perimeter of the Pentagon. So the A-ring is the very the center point of the Pentagon. It goes A through E. There's a numbered system with corridors 1 through 9, and so the A-ring would be the closest to the courtyard. If you can see on this map, you see the courtyard there in the middle of the Pentagon. Obviously, as the name suggests, is a 5-sided building with about 20,000 people that work there on any given day. And you mentioned the contractors, Harris. Of course, you have service members from all the branches: Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, Space Force now working there. You also have service secretaries. You have the Joint Chiefs. So you have the top military officials from each branch represented there. Needless to say, there's a lot of brass that works in the Pentagon any given day, which is why.
Okay, yes, we get it. We get it. Holy shit. We get it. Yikes. Yeah, rat piss. That's right. Cash peed in the corner again. Yeah, tell us every factoid you know. That went on too long. Okay. Thank them. You hold them eyes for the sponsors, right? We got to put our little Chiron down below. Well, let's get back to some reading, because I also pulled a few articles about Trump corruption, because I was like, what's happening in the Trump corruption world? I was really mostly interested in like the brothers and stuff like that. So anyway, just wanted to say I'm pulling up a bunch of stuff and wanted to share some things with you in case you hadn't heard of them or etc., so that we can follow them. Why does it matter if he served? It doesn't. It doesn't matter, actually. I'm sorry. All right. So this is actually just a press release from June 4th from Jason Crow, who's Colorado congressman. He's from the House of Representatives, Democrat. Senator Elizabeth Warren and Congressman Jason Crow, co-chair of the End Corruption Caucus, are demanding answers in a new letter to the White House. Reports of potential corruption and favoritism with federal contracts benefiting the Dump family. And this is what I was looking at, the boys, and like, what are the boys involved in these days? Because remember, we've been looking at that a lot. Okay. Vulcan Elements, a small startup company with direct ties to the Trump family, was awarded a $620 million loan by the Department of Defense. The venture capital firm 1789 Capital, where Donald Dump Jr. works as a partner, is invested in Vulcan Elements, offering Dump Jr. and his company direct financial incentives from the deal. According to public reporting, a top White House advisor and friend of Dump Jr., Peter Navarro, requested DOD staff to approve the loan. Peter Navarro is a dirty motherfucker. And if anybody's going to end up being in prison, it's going to be that little rat. God willing. Requested DOD staff to approve the loan, which prompted staff to move on an unusually expedited timeline. One DOD official said about the loan, the call came from the White House. We have to get this done. The $620 million loan is the largest ever made by the Office of Strategic Capital. Since August 2025, Vulcan has received $10 million in direct investment from DOD and $50 million equity investment from the Department of Commerce. Who's that? That's not liquor. Okay. Donald Trump has turned our government into a racket to enrich himself, his family, and their billionaire donors. The corruption is costing taxpayers money as they are losing their health care and can't afford groceries. The American people deserve leaders that work for their benefit, not who use their office to enrich themselves, said Mr. Crow. Crow and Warren were joined in their letter by Senator Richard Blumenthal and Mazie Hirono and Mike Levine. Warren and Crow and their colleagues wrote, the American public and service members that are in harm's way expect that the DoD contracting process is fair, unbiased, and competitive to ensure that only the best companies providing the best products receive taxpayer dollars. But if this report is accurate, it reveals a staggering level of corruption and influence peddling that superseded this process, enriching the president's son at the expense of U.S. national security and taxpayer dollars. These revelations about the White House influence over DoD contracting come amid a fire hose of corruption surrounding the Dump administration and department, raising concerns about inappropriate White House involvement in other U.S. government investments that have or could enrich Trump Jr., they continued. Throughout his time in Congress, Congressman Crow has stood up to special interests, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Yeah, you're great. You're great. Let's see. Let me go to the meat. This is the text of the letter. Okay. A lucrative. We write to demand a full explanation for what appears to be an egregious example of Dump administration corruption involving the White House delivering a lucrative Defense Department loan to a company with financial ties to the Dump family. I know, but the tan suit. And she laughed too much. In January 2026, Senators Warren, Blumenthal, and Kim wrote to the Department of Defense regarding concerns that the department had provided 1789 Capital, a venture capital firm joined by Donald Trump Jr. as a partner soon after President Trump's election, with hundreds of millions of dollars worth of contracts and loans. The initial findings of this investigation were deeply troubling. They revealed that DoD appears to be oblivious to and therefore unable to address the potential for corruption created by the Trump family's investments in companies that stand to benefit financially from taxpayer-funded DoD contracts. Now we write because a new report appears to indicate corruption playing out behind closed doors at the White House and the Pentagon. The most valuable DoD award to date for 1789 Capital is a $620 million loan to Vulcan Elements. The company is a small, rare earth startup that creates magnets for use in drones and radar systems, which received an investment of undisclosed size from 1789 Capital just 3 months prior to being approved for the DoD loan. The $620 million loan was the largest ever made by the Office of Strategic Capital, worth twice Vulcan Elements' entire valuation. Ooh, okay. And after the award, estimates of its valuation grew tenfold, an immediate windfall for the president's son. The new report from ProPublica indicates that Vulcan's approval for this loan came amid White House interference in the process. Specifically, according to this report, interviews and Defense Department records reviewed by ProPublica show that the request to loan hundreds of millions of dollars to the firm linked to Trump Jr. was made by Peter Navarro, a White House advisor to President Trump and a friend of Trump Jr.'s, and that Navarro's prodding prompted staff to move at an unusually rapid pace, working late nights and with little sleep to get the loan through in a matter of weeks. In addition to the $620 million loan, how does it work like that? I'm sorry. I don't understand how you'd have weeks of work, but whatever. In addition to the $620 million loan, Vulcan also landed $10 million in direct contracts with DoD and received a $50 million equity investment from the Department of Commerce. What? What does that mean? Wait, what does that mean? Department of Commerce, 50 million. I don't understand that, Vulcan. Does that mean they have a stake in it? I don't get it. Oh my God. Oh my God. The government took ownership in part of this company. What? Oh my God. The Department of Commerce will receive $50 million of equity in Vulcan Elements. What the fuck? what are we doing? Like, what? How is that legal? That I don't even understand that. This is, I'll link all this stuff, but this is Vulcan Element's own announcement in November. $1.4 billion partnership with the United States government. And you can just see the Department of Commerce, will receive 50 million of equity. It's right here. I mean, what are we doing? Like, I guess that's communism. So, okay. Yeah. Where's the I just don't know. There's a lot that goes into just getting equity in a company, All right. Well, I guess we'll have to learn more about that, won't we? I guess we will. All right. So, okay. Whoops. Where's my, wait, what happened? Shoot. Okay, hold on. All right, hold on. Is this it? No. You get a little lost with my little tab sometimes. Sorry about that. Okay. Poop buckets. Do 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 do. Okay, well, clearly. Oh, okay, I understand. All right. Okay. So here we go. I went down a rabbit hole, and there you went. And there we went. This is the one I'm trying to read to you. Okay. Come amid a fire hose of corruption. Okay. Oh yeah, this is where I got thrown off with the equity. Oh, okay. There's just so much. These revelations about White House influence over DoD contracting come amid a fire hose of corruption surrounding the Dump administration and department, raising concerns about inappropriate White House involvement in other U.S. investments that could have or could enrich Dump Jr. SWI Quantum, a quantum chip startup backed by 1789 Capital, received a $10.8 million Pentagon contract in April 2025, and Commerce recently took a $100 million equity stake in the company. What? Another one? Separate reporting suggests that the Dump administration is considering using a combination of OSC loans and equity investments to fund a group of drone companies, including Unusual Machines. The drone company counts Donald Dump Jr. as a shareholder and advisory board member. Even reports that the Dump administration is in talks with Unusual Machines have benefited Dump Jr. After the story broke, Unusual Machines stock value increased by more than 50%. Those boys are really dirty. I mean, it's just shocking. This is what I'm saying. Okay, really, just stay with me. Just play with me in this space. This is the great cash out. Okay? Because since they took power, what this group has known, this administration, their donors, the members of the cabinet, etc., what they have known is that they have a limited amount of time before the pendulum swings back and cuts their heads off. They know they're breaking the law. And so this thus has begun the great cash out. 4 major IPOs in the next 6 months. The boys probably working harder than they ever have to ink deals that will enrich them. And we all see what's happening with Ivanka and Jared trying to build their bunker. Peter is buying Argentina because he likes the view. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't, there's no tinfoil here. Like, this is fucking, it's just what's unfolding in front of you. So I think it's the great cash out because which actually is somewhat encouraging if you really think about it. If that means that they are intimidated by what could happen if the midterms do work against them. They must think that's a real fear. They must think that retribution and accountability and justice are real, that they could happen to them. Because otherwise, I just don't know. This is an awful lot of make the money, rise and grind kind of time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm referring to this as the great cash out. Now, I don't know what that means for the rest of the, rest of the economy, but I don't know. We're going to get into that too. It's going to be quite a morning. All right. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this because I have a lot of articles I'd like to read to you, and I don't want to miss a thing. But I will be sharing all of this because look these are the companies. This includes but not limited to Vulcan Elements, Unusual Machines, Swy Quantum, Cerebras Systems, Firehawk Aerospace. And remember, there was the other one that is the drone company that I think is related to Cerebras as well. That also was where they took the golf company, right? The golf LLC that was already publicly traded, and they merged it with the drone company. And maybe that was Vulcan. So now Vulcan can be, not only will they make money on the contracts, but they're going to make money on the fucking stock. I mean, come on now. This is like, you don't need to be Columbo to figure this the fuck out. Like, this country's being raped of everything it has. Laws, equity and inclusion, protection of rights, and money. Oh, and life, because we're killing people, including our own young people who are having to go to war for white men who credibly were alleged to rape children. And that's who we're having them fight for. Literally. Think about that. Don't ever not be shocked by that. Kolchak. Oh, I love that show. All right, here's another one. Trump family got about $500 million from crypto venture, but investors saw steep losses. We haven't even talked about crypto. I'm just telling you about their equity investments. This is from June 9th. Oh, wait. I've hit my 5 article limit. Well, let me read the high points. Company disclosures show the Dump family was entitled to roughly $500 million from a 2025 crypto transaction between World Liberty Financial and the publicly traded company then called Alt5 Sigma. Alt5 Sigma's stock has fallen more than 90% since just before the deal was announced. The company, now called AI Financial Corp, has warned investors about its ability to continue as a going concern. Ethics watchdogs and former regulators said the SEC should investigate the company over issues in its corporate disclosures and potential conflicts of interest arising from its relationship to the president's family. There's no evidence that anyone involved in Alt5 Sigma's August stock sale tried to exploit their relationship with the Trump family for their own benefit. Really, Grease? Really? The White House said there's no conflict of interest. What are you guys looking at? Let me see if I can create a free account. Okay, I can't show you guys. Oh my God. I'm going to go ahead and hold on. I'm going to share that instead so I can fill this in privacy. God. I don't want you to know my email address. Oh my God. Password. I don't care. How about I don't care? Was that a good password? Okay, because I really want to read this fucking story. Okay, stop. Okay, we're back. I got it. Okay. Back in August, Eric Dump and Dump Jr., Tweedledum and Tweedledumber, were all smiles. They showed up at the NASDAQ Stock Exchange in New York to celebrate a new business partnership. We read about this. Do you guys remember? This is what we read about. That's what we read about. You got this at Lolo's. If one story of this human being were a Biden, their heads would explode. If one of these stories. Back in August, Tweedledum and Tweedledee were all smiles. They showed up at NASDAQ in New York to celebrate a new business partnership with a little-known publicly traded company, then called Alt-5 Sigma, to give investors easier access to a cryptocurrency backed by the Trump family. Less than 10 months later, the company has warned investors it may not be able to stay in business much longer. Oh, its share price has fallen more than 90%, and a rebranding hasn't revived investor interest. If the company, now called AI Financial Corp, can't sustainably raise its share price out of penny stock levels in the next 15 trading days, it faces the prospect of being delisted by NASDAQ. Wait, when was this? When was this story? June? Okay, so this is going to be really interesting, y'all. Okay, because I think I know what's happening, but I'm not sure I know what's happening. Isn't that great? Isn't that a great lead-in? Okay. Okay. One of the few parties who benefited from the Alt-5 Sigma transaction is the Trump family. As part of the August deal, Alt-5 acquired. It's Steve Witkoff's son. I mean, others is doing a lot of work there. $5 for gas, try $6.50. Okay, try $6.50, Jim. All right, try $6.50 on a fixed income, baby. Okay, then tell me about it. Let's do crypto. The president and undisclosed members of his family were entitled to roughly $500 million in proceeds from the crypto sale, according to disclosures by World Liberty Financial. Alt-5 closed at $8.97 a share on August 8th, the last trading day before the World Liberty deal was announced. Since then, AI Financial stock, originally trading under the Alts, now AIFC, fell to 66 cents a share. So from $8.97 a share to 66 on June 8th, a 93% loss, according to FactSet data. Attorneys for Democracy Defenders Fund told the Securities and Exchange Commission in April letter that the regulator needs to commence an independent investigation into alts without delay. The nonpartisan group has sharply criticized the Dump administration over allegations of ethics issues. They didn't receive a response to their letter. The question now is, what happened to all that money? Virginia Cantor, the chief anti-corruption counsel for the group, said in an interview. Sorry, I struggled a little bit there. I just wanted to pull up what they were referring to. I pulled up the out letter. SEC declined to comment on whether it has looked at AI Financial since its involvement with the dumps. AI Financial has become a cautionary tale for investors who saw a dump-linked deal as a natural winner in a Trump presidency. The company is on its third CEO and third outside auditor since Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr. celebrated the World Liberty partnership at the NASDAQ in August. In January, it turned to World Liberty for a loan and then used some of the proceeds to try and lift its own share price. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll try. Yeah, I'll find the. Yeah, I can find a Reuters article on that. Did we read that, or is that a new one? The effort failed. What looked like to some like a public market entry point into the Dumps family expanding business empire has instead left investors with steep losses. There they are. Okay, so let's see. Hedge funds, including Point72, Exodus Point, and Soul Ventures, along with other investors, purchased $750 million in stock from Alt-5. Alt-5 buys $750 million in World Liberty Financial tokens. World Liberty Financial owes approximately $500 million, about 75% of these proceeds, to members of the Dump family. Wait, so was this just a way to pump and dump this little company to get the money out of it? What about these hedge fund investors? Are they mad? Oh my God. These guys are so fucking dirty. I'm going to tell you right now. Eric Dump, in an ex post in May, said he has zero leadership or decision-making role in the company. I mean, have you met me? I'm so incredibly stupid. He was nominated to a role in the company's board, but World Liberty nixed the plan after a discussion with NASDAQ. Oh my God. Fuck you, NASDAQ. You're not doing your job either. Alt5 said in an SEC filing. The exchange requires a majority of board members of its listed companies to be independent. Eric Dump wouldn't qualify as an independent director for Alt5 given the World Liberty deal. And another board seat was going to go to fellow World Liberty co-founder Zach Witkoff. Where have you heard that name before? That's right. He's the son of President Dump's Middle East negotiator and spy, Stephen Witkoff. Eric Dump threatened to sue MS Now host Jen Psaki for allegedly damaging his reputation. Oh no, sweetheart, that was damaged from the birth. All right, you're the dumb one. When she raised questions about his role in the company in a May television segment that discussed his potential conflicts of interest, MS Now spokesman Richard Huddock declined to comment. MS Now and CNBC are both owned by Versant Media Group. I don't care about that. Neither Tweedledum nor Tweedledee have any involvement in Alt5, nor have any visibility to the company. Kimberly Benza, a spokeswoman for the Dump organization, said in response to emailed questions about the brothers' role in the company in the August transaction. Neither have ever been on the board, know anything about the leadership team, or have ever been involved in their operations. We don't even know her. She doesn't even go to the school. Well, I just remember Uday and Kusei. Uday, wait, is that right? I might have their names wrong. I remember certain sons of a president who didn't fare too well. And I can't imagine these folks are going to be much different. I mean, if you've seen what's happening in Albania, if you're Jared and Ivanka, I wouldn't walk the farmer's market on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? I just paid. Wait, will you find that? Wait, what did I miss? I must be missing something. Okay. Some of the canniest investors in AI Financial may have been able to salvage their bottom line through quick sales. Many of them are anonymous. But among those who participated in the August deal, here we go, are two major U.S. hedge funds. New York Mets owner Stephen Cohen's .72 Asset Management bought in for $36.5 million and sold out at an undisclosed point before the end of the year. It could have made a profit or loss depending on the precise timing. Exodus Point Capital Management acquired $44 million worth of Alt5 stock and still held some as of the end of March at a paper loss of $14 million on those shares, though that may have been offset by earlier sales. Spokespeople for .72 and Exodus Point declined to comment about their role in raping the country. Another fund, Hong Kong-based Seoul Ventures Holdings, disclosed an $85 million stake in the August Alt5 transaction. By mid-October, it announced it had exited that position entirely. The SEC filings that detail these kind of holdings give at best a fleeting partial picture of the financial transactions involved. But if Seoul Ventures sold its entire holdings in mid-October on the open market, it would have lost approximately $56 to $58 million. Seoul Ventures didn't respond. And this is AI Financial stock performance going back to 2024. Oh, that's a rough ride. That's a rough ride, kids. That's a real rough ride. We have no interest in participating in stories built on unfounded accusations and speculation. We've got enough of our own troubles, a spokesman for AI Financial Corp said in response. AIFI's management team is laser focused on building its business. Well, you're doing a shitty job of it, so I don't know why you'd get any more money from people, but whatever. Serving its customers and creating long-term value for shareholders. The White House brushed aside questions about the family's involvement. President Dump's assets are in a trust managed by his children. There's no conflicts of interest. Fuck you, Anna. There's no evidence that anyone involved in Alt5 Sigma August stock sale, which ultimately benefited the Trump family, tried to exploit that relationship for their own benefit. I don't know. Isn't there something else, though, about this? What about, why aren't they bringing up the part about the other guy that bought World Liberty? Didn't he buy $85 million, Justin's son? Didn't he buy $85 million worth of World Liberty Financial stablecoin? I thought that was part of that. Isn't it interesting? 85 million. That's a very interesting figure. Alt 5 Sigma followed a winding path through U.S. markets before it made contact with the Dump family. Originally a recycling company, it went through a phase as a biotech before settling in 2024 as a crypto exchange and payments business, according to securities filings. Yeah, this whole article is evidence. Yeah. That decision became the basis for a supersized bet on crypto tokens issued by World Liberty Financial. World Liberty was founded in 2024 as a private company by Eric, Don Jr., and Barron, sons of the president, Zach and Alex Witkoff, sons of Steve Witkoff, and business partners Zach Folkman and Chase Hero, according to a company document. Disclosures on World Liberty's website in early June show that approximately 38% of the equity interests in World Liberty's parent company are owned by an entity affiliated with Dump and certain of his family members. World Liberty would go on to issue crypto assets in different assortments, a so-called governance token called WLFI, which would enable its owners to participate in some decision-making about the crypto network while the token rose and fell in value, and a stable coin called USD1, an asset pegged to the US dollar and backed by safe assets such as treasuries. Well, that's misspelled, but okay. Hi, we're really stupid. Hi. World Liberty in August embarked on a deal with Alt 5 that mirrored other deals in the crypto space. Alt 5 stock became kind of a financial wrapper for a cryptocurrency. These types of companies, called digital asset treasuries, typically buy and hold certain crypto assets. The best known is Michael Saylor's company, Strategy Inc., which holds Bitcoin. The idea is to broaden the base of potential investors in the underlying crypto holding. Investors who may find it difficult or inconvenient to directly hold crypto assets, or who simply prefer stocks, can buy the listed company's stock easily through a platform such as Robinhood, rather than dealing with the complexities of directly owning crypto. So it's like mutual funds. Or no, you can just buy the company that holds crypto. I don't even understand that. How would your investment go up or down? I don't really get this. This seems like a boondoggle. In Alt 5's case, the company became a wrapper for World Liberty's WLFI tokens. In other words, investors could use Alt 5 stock to bet on a cryptocurrency issued by a privately held company co-founded by members of the Dump family. Alt 5 announced World Liberty deal on August 11th. It had two parts. Alt 5 traded shares and stock warrants in itself to World Liberty in exchange for $750 million worth of WLFI tokens, and Alt 5 sold $750 million in stock to investors at $750 a share. The $750 million in proceeds, minus some fees, was given to World Liberty in exchange for the WLFI tokens. All told, Alt 5 received nearly 7.3 billion WLFI tokens, which it initially valued at about 1.5 billion. Sorry. Zach Witkoff, World Liberty's CEO, became chair of Alt 5's board. And here it goes. The WLFI token debuted at 31 cents on September 1st, 2025. We're pulling the rug out from under the investment. Everybody who was involved sold their shit, took the money, and then there we go. And goodbye. And now it's worth 6 cents. The Dump family is entitled to 75% of the proceeds from World Liberty's crypto token sales, according to disclosures made in a document World Liberty published in 2024 describing its token offering and repeated in fine print at the bottom of its website. That would put the Dump family's direct gains from the August Alt 5 transaction at roughly $500 million after fees and other expenses. The Dump family's minority stake in World Liberty also gives it an indirect stake in the ongoing value of Alt 5. World Liberty received 1 million shares in Alt 5, as well as 99 million pre-funded warrants and 20 million warrants in multiple tranches that could be exercised at prices ranging from $7.50 to $9.75 a share, according to SEC filings. So are those, I mean, I think warrants, I don't know what warrants are per se, but they sound like an option, like a stock option to buy at a certain price. I have to look at that. There's Zach. Hi, I'm Zach Witkoff from my daddy. My daddy's making a lot of money for everybody. Yeah, me too. Before renaming itself AI Financial in April, Alt5 told investors filings about several potential problems. That must have been awkward. Alt5 Sigma has all the indicators that normally raise significant concerns among regulators, which would typically result in inquiries from enforcement agencies, said former New Jersey Attorney General Matthew Platkin. He is now in private legal practice and reviewed the Alt5 episode as part of a collaboration with Cantor's organization. There are serious red flags with this company that warrant investigation. Alt5 said in a filing after the August deal with World Liberty that in May 2025, a Rwandan court had found an employee of the company's Canadian subsidiary guilty of offenses including money laundering, which it said was under appeal. In October, Alt5 said it had suspended its CEO. His acting successor was removed the next month and replaced by a third CEO who remains in charge. Alt5 disclosed the leadership changes in SEC filings without providing further explanation. We went over that too. In November, Alt5 told investors it had been warned of a potential delisting by NASDAQ because it hadn't filed quarterly report on time. It also said that month its outside auditor had resigned. It replaced that auditor, but in December said it had to move to a third auditor after discovering the second auditor's license had expired. That's interesting. Alt5 eventually filed its report. Are they auditor shopping? I don't know. Alt5 eventually filed its report and said it had resolved that delisting warning. Yeah, never mind. Some of these issues, they've been paid off. Some of these issues, such as the court filing and auditor issue, I don't know that, but I could imagine, should have been revealed to investors more swiftly, Cantor said. I started my ethics career at the SEC, and I think they would have started investigating this for just one or two of these failures to disclose, Cantor said. Enforcement agencies don't typically discuss matters that may be subject to investigation. The SEC in 2024 agreed to settle an earlier fraud allegation against AI Financial when it was named Jan 1 in the company's biotech iteration. The company paid a $250,000 fine and did not admit guilt. One potential wrinkle in the investigative process, Cantor said, is the Trump family's recent anti-weaponization settlement with the Internal Revenue Service. The great cash out. Remember, Lolo said it. What that'll be important for? Not a clue. Under the settlement, Acting Attorney General Turd Blanche issued an order releasing Trump from ongoing audits. The settlement's language is vague and is written in a way that could be interpreted to apply to regulators' potential investigations of companies related to the Dump family, such as AI Financial. Yeah. The SEC declined to comment on Cantor's assertion that the IRS settlement would apply to the agency or may apply to the agency. Well, I hadn't thought of that. The Department of Justice and IRS couldn't be bothered to comment. No, they didn't respond. Whether AI Financial can continue to do business remains to be seen. The company dropped a bombshell on investors on May 18th. WLFI tokens had lost value, wiping $348 million off the listed company's balance sheet in the first quarter. It had taken an operating loss too. Its liabilities exceeded its assets. These conditions, this is the Trump brothers. This is what they do. They get theirs. Don't worry. They got their money. Don't you worry about that. These conditions raise substantial doubt about the company's ability to continue as a going concern within 1 year after the date these financial statements are issued, AI Financial said in an SEC file. Attempts to right the ship appear to not to be working. The company said in a press release in late January it had borrowed $15 million from World Liberty. It has used the funds to buy its own shares on the open market. We just talked about that. The low share price isn't just painful for shareholders, it's a potentially existential issue for the company. NASDAQ requires its companies to trade above $1 a share. A company may face delisting if its shares trade below $1 for 30 consecutive days. Yeah, it goes to the penny market. They call that the penny market. June 8th marked AI Financial's 15th consecutive day of closing below $1. It traded below $1 for 24 days, ending in mid-May before briefly rising above $1. Well, that could not be manipulative. There are still, NASDAQ didn't want to talk about it either. We don't want to talk about it. There are still steps AI Financial can take, among them so-called reverse share split, where the company could, for instance, have the number of shares trading, which would effectively double their price. But it would still face the question of whether anyone would want to hold those shares. The value of AI Financial Star holding its hoard of WLFI crypto tokens has fallen sharply since Don Jr. and Eric rang the Nasdaq bell in August. After fees and expenses, the 1.5 billion transaction netted 7.3 billion tokens acquired at 20 cents each. As of June 8th, their market value had fallen to about 5.7 cents, according to Coinbase, a 72% decline. That put AI Financial's overall WLFI holdings at just 412 million. AI Financial's market cap was down to just 89 million, according to FactSet, suggesting investors see that holding the stock is riskier than directly holding the underlying cryptocurrency. Hello. You have one job. World Liberty is embroiled in litigation with Justin Sun. That's right, a crypto investor who was a major early purchaser of WLFI tokens over his allegations that World Liberty has quietly prevented him from selling his tokens. The two parties have filed suit against each other. Litigation is at an early stage. AI Financial couldn't sell its way out of the hole either. Its crypto holdings are still locked, which means they can't be sold under the agreements made in August, when the two Dump brothers celebrated Alt5's pivot towards World Liberty's cryptocurrency. So you guys struck quite a deal there, Alt5. You locked yourselves in. Wow. You guys really don't deserve to be running a fucking company. A delisting wouldn't happen quickly, and AI Financial could take steps to halt the process, but the prospect of it undermines the premise of Alt5 World Liberty deal. Investors who are keen to hold a piece of Trump-linked crypto assets can buy them directly without going through the hassle of holding a volatile stock worth less than the crypto it holds. With its stock price sliding and its time below $1, share dragging on, AI need a lifeline. So I'm sorry that I know that's a little technical, but I just feel like keeping track of these brothers. This is the letter. I'll just include this. This is more detailed about the transaction, and a letter to the SEC about it. In fact, I'll just include most of these. Oh yeah, I wanna look at this one. All right, switching gears a little bit. Top Pentagon official. Yeah, remember the gold bar guy? Remember that? Remember the gold bars? Gold bars. But here we go. There's some stuff. This was from well, I thought this was from today. No, from yesterday. Is today the 11th? No. Yes. Okay. This is from yesterday. From New York Times, top Pentagon official worked closely with CIA officer, later found with gold bars. What's going on? David Rush, the CIA employee, worked on highly classified China spying program with Stephen A. Feinberg, the Pentagon's second-ranking official. David J. Rush, the former CIA officer, found last month with $40 million in gold bars in his home and now under FBI investigation, had powerful friends in government. It turns out that one of them, Stephen A. Feinberg, the Deputy Secretary of Defense, even contacted the CIA earlier this year asking to work more closely with him. What? Before the CIA fired Mr. Rush, he and Mr. Feinberg worked together on a highly classified program focused on spying on China, according to the current and former officials. Mr. Feinberg reached out to a senior agency official pushing for Mr. Rush to play a greater role in the classified program. Mr. Feinberg didn't know about the criminal investigation of Mr. Rush when he reached out to the agency, according to U.S. officials. But Mr. Feinberg's advocacy for Mr. Rush demonstrates how trusted Mr. Rush was, with secrets known only a small group of American officials, at the same time that court documents show he may have been defrauding the CIA of millions of dollars. At the request of government officials, the New York Times is withholding some details about the spying program that Mr. Feinberg and Mr. Rush worked on because of the sensitive nature of operation. Mr. Feinberg and Mr. Rush have known each other at least since Mr. Feinberg was the head of President's Intelligence Advisory Board during Dump's first term. Mr. Rush was an officer at the CIA's Directorate of Science and Technology, a branch of the spy agency that Mr. Feinberg, the co-founder of Cerberus Capital. Hold on. God. I mean, it's all there. Sorry, I just am looking for one thing. Oh God, there's that too. I forgot. Feinberg also has connections to Epstein. But Cerberus Capital is also part of the Trump, Cerberus Capital, I guess, is also part of the, well, he was a Trump donor, but I think this is part of the boys thing. Yeah, Steven Feinberg is an oligarch. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Took a particular interest when he ran the advisory board. The board advises the White House and spy agencies on intelligence collection and other matters. People briefed on the investigation said Mr. Feinberg reached out to the CIA on behalf of Mr. Rush in late March or early April. It's unclear how quickly the CIA told the Defense Department or the interagency group Mr. Rush worked on about the investigation. Once officials learned about the investigation, Mr. Rush was no longer included in Pentagon meetings. Officials close to Mr. Feinberg have downplayed their connection in recent weeks. Sean Parnell, the Pentagon spokesman, said earlier this month that reports about the ties between Feinberg and Rush were completely false and embellished. Deputy Secretary Feinberg never supported Mr. Rush's career at any point in his life, nor did he endorse Mr. Rush for any career position. The CIA declined to comment, citing the ongoing legal investigation. The Pentagon did not respond to a request for comment about Mr. Feinberg's request to the agency. Mr. Rush began accumulating $40 million in gold bars based on a fake classified program he created, according to court documents. That program on paper was related to a project regarding the continuity of government operations. People briefed on the matter said no such project actually existed. The episode is now the subject of investigation by the White House Office of Management and Budget. Oh, really? Oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, whenever there's corruption, you know who we're going to turn to? Wait, where is he? Is he even here? I don't even think I have a picture of him. God damn it. Where's my picture of, what's his name? Oh my God. I thought I had a picture of him. Shit. Okay, I got to get my picture of Russ Vogt. Okay. That's crazy. Mr. Rush briefed or read in 2 other CIA employees about his fake program. Because it was highly classified, those employees were prohibited from discussing it. One of the officials was the person who approved the transfer of the gold bars, the money that eventually ended up in Mr. Rush's home. Oh my God. This stinks so bad. I'm telling you, they're cashing out, bitches. It's unclear whether there is any connection between Mr. Rush's fake program and the... Oh, really? It's not clear? But you're not saying there isn't. Yeah, the Trump admin's going to sort it out. Hi, Josh. How you doing, babe? Yeah, they're going to work it out. Just hand it over to Russ. He'll take care of it. He'll figure out where it went. But let me read this again. It is unclear whether there is any connection between Mr. Rush's fake program and the highly classified China spying operation that Mr. Rush worked on with Mr. Feinberg and his aides. Okay, listen. They're not saying there isn't a connection between them, but they're also there, and they're not saying there is, but they're just saying it's unclear, which means there could be. Maybe sorted out, yeah. It's unclear whether there's a connection. So that means there definitely could be a connection. And Feinberg, gonna remind you, number 2 at the Pentagon. Number two. The only charge lodged against Mr. Rush is that he inflated his academic credentials and obtained military leave pay worth tens of thousands of dollars. The authorities say he falsely claimed to be a member of the Navy Reserve when he was discharged. In court papers, the government accused Mr. Rush of inflating his academic credentials and lying about his work history. But the legal action against Mr. Rush raised far more questions than it answered. From last November to March, according to court papers, Mr. Rush asked for and received tens of millions of dollars in gold bars and foreign currency for work-related expenses. When the CIA conducted a review of where the gold and currency were stashed, the agency was unable to locate them, according to court papers. Alerted by the CIA, the FBI searched Mr. Rush's home in March and found 303 gold bars, along with approximately $2 million and several dozen luxury watches, and a partridge in a pear tree. So what's interesting to me is that there were definitely people at the CIA who knew that he was being, or that somehow these gold bars were being transferred to him. Okay, so literally the CIA knew this was happening from November. And yeah. I have a feeling, yeah, exactly. Could I please have some gold bars? I like to pay in gold bars for my pedicures. And so my question too is, well, first of all, are there other charges coming? Which I imagine there would be, but I don't know. Now I'm wondering. And number two, I'm also wondering, how involved was Steven Feinberg in the gold bar situation? And just because they say there isn't any connection between those two fake programs, that maybe there is something there. I mean, this is just like endless. It's a never-ending story. Because I'll also include this from February. Epstein files show financial ties to DOD Deputy Secretary Feinberg, the guy we were just talking about. I'll just read a little bit of it, because then I probably have to. Oh, I don't want to go. Hundreds of documents in the newly released Epstein files shed light on connections between the sex offender and Cerberus Capital Management, a private equity firm formerly led by Department of Defense Deputy Secretary Steve Feinberg. Feinberg, a billionaire who co-founded the private equity firm Cerberus Capital Management, is referenced by name in at least 20 documents in the Epstein files, while his company Cerberus appears in 360 files, including emailed communications with Epstein himself. The emails raise questions regarding Feinberg's company's ties to the disgraced financier and sex criminal. So this would be, something to watch too, as this gold bar story expands. What is going on with Steven Feinberg and what's his role in this? I mean, really, right? I'd settle for anything at this point. Let's see. I'm going to move us to a video now and do a little video time. That's my question. Yeah. What did Feinberg know? And what is the deal with these secret CIA projects? See, this is why I think the CIA, we could get rid of it. We could probably get rid of it. Let me see. Let me just go. Okay. I know we've had enough of Mark Wayne Mullen for one morning. Yeah, isn't Cerberus? Isn't it, Josh? Is that what it is? Or is it a bear? I don't know. Isn't it a three-headed dog? Isn't it like super mean? Okay. It's time to smoke a little weed, and it's time to listen to, unfortunately, Mark Wayne Mullen. The reason I picked this up, this is the National Sheriff's Association meeting that just happened. In fact, is still happening, it looks like. I mean, I guess, human being, but what are they? Nobody's doing anything with the information they have. So I don't know, put up or shut up, I guess, is what I'm saying at this point. Like, what the fuck? Like, what do we have to do? So I apologize in advance, but we are going to listen to what Mark Wayne Mullen says to the Sheriff's Association, which is problematic in and of itself, and can only imagine how problematic it gets from here. Now, will we stay with it? Probably not, because, we can't stand it. So anyway, audit the CIA. Really, man? Open the books. Mark Wayne, I'm Mullenhead.
And went over and met with the secretary. I go, man, we're so pumped. We're so pumped that you're here. And then I go, talk about being pumped.
And I think I said you're overcompensating for that pistol on your side.
I had to go in the elevator say something like that last night. But anyway, we visited a couple of months ago. Actually, I was in D.C. I gave you a call. You called me back and asked you to come. You didn't know if he was going to be able to make it, and things worked out for us. We're so blessed to have you here.
I bet. Where are
It
they?
is absolutely an honor to be sitting in front of you. Not to mention, it was the only place I knew that I could wear my hat and be safe. The president doesn't like it when I wear it. He says it darkens my eyes. So I have a whole bunch of these hats sitting in the house because, you know, we do run a lot of cattle. We have a working ranch. We're, I don't know, 4th, 5th generation, I guess, cow-calf operation.
No,
a lot
you're
of
not.
cutting horses.
No, you're not.
And
Mark Wayne DeMullen.
when I got elected, the president made it very clear he didn't want me to wear my hat too often. And so when I was walking out the door this morning, I was like, I can wear my hat here. I knew you was going to wear it.
'Cause you have such beautiful. I know it is low, isn't it? Hold on. Let me. Oops, that's me.
One, and so it's too easy. But no, seriously, guys, thank you. It is an honor, and I'm actually truly humbled to be even
so
sit
sorry.
in front of you today. I'm looking at a bunch of true heroes in your communities, and I mean that sincerely. No one is more close to the community than the county commissioners and the sheriffs. That is,
Okay,
it is
you're
a
boring me
personal
already.
touch.
This is
I'm
getting
gonna pretend
bad.
to be one of you. I'm just going to tell you I'm here to have your back, and this administration has your back.
How's the transition going since you came in?
I can't.
Well, you guys have probably been hearing what's happened in Delaney Hall. Delaney Hall, I call balls and strikes very clear. It is not. I don't see gray. It's black and white to me.
Oh, really?
And I call these elected officials out the way that I see it.
Oh, really?
They're looking for clickbait. They're going
Really?
out there. They're using excuses. We know with Governor Sherrill, we know with the mayor there, the
She's
mayor
on your side.
and in the town where Delaney Hall is, he's got an interesting background. He doesn't hide from it.
What?
It's
What is he
their
talking
idea is
about?
try to elevate this to Minnesota. We aren't doing that. We have a zero tolerance. If you touch one of our officers, if you verbally assault one of our officers, if you touch our
Verbally?
vehicles, we will arrest you. A lot of the vehicles you're seeing assaulted right now, though,
I don't think there's an arrest for verbal assault. I don't think that's not. You don't arrest someone for verbal assault for yelling at you. Literally. You can't arrest people for yelling at you. Okay, I'm already done. I already can't handle it. But okay, I'll go a couple minutes.
those
more.
are private employees from the
No, they're
facility
federal
managers
employees.
of Delaney Hall, and I don't have authority over those. We're having a very difficult time with
The Geo Group. Is he unhappy
with
about the
getting
Geo
local
Group?
law enforcement to respond. It's not that they don't want to; they want to. The mayor has lifted the curfew. The mayor has brought the barricades back close. When state police came out, they pushed everybody back. Man, let me tell you, New Jersey's got some great state police. Those guys are professionals. They came out, did their job,
Nazis.
and they
Hated
want to
the
do their
Nazis.
job, but the governor won't let them do their job. So they keep trying to elevate it to try to make it into a situation. We've been trying to de-escalate it as much as possible. We have zero tolerance on it. Our goal when we first came in is to take DHS out of the news. The more I'm in the news, the more DHS is in the news, the more protesting, the more interference our officers have.
I can't. He's dumb. He's dumb. He's a dumb man. And I just can't. All right. You know, this is why we spend time reading articles more than we do other things. Sorry. I tried. I still have a lot more, so please don't go anywhere. I know, it kind of sounds like the Wagner Group, doesn't it? Yeah. He is dangerous. You know, and the mayor. The old gray mare, she ain't what she used to be. All right. I know I'm a bit of a jumper, but we're going to go to the economy. It's economy day here at Lolo's Lounge. But look, there's breaking news, y'all. Dump decided not to bomb. Now, I don't know if I guess he was on the bomb thing, and now he was like not a bomb. Not bombing, but he was going to, but now he's not. I can't keep up. I don't know how the Iranians keep up with this because I have no idea. And aren't we bombing them anyway? I mean, are we bombing them anyway? Jesus Christ. The fuck? It's like stupid world. It's because not enough people watch my show. That's why. Carla brought her cooter into Wake and Bake today. Does my ass make these pants look big? Maybe. Yeah, bootylicious. All right. Consumer prices rose 4.2% annually in May, highest in 3 years. But he loves inflation. You heard him. He loves inflation. I don't know why. He never did finish that thought, but okay. Consumer price index rose at a seasonally adjusted 0.5% for the month, putting the annual inflation rate at 4.2%, both in line with expectations because we know how shitty this economy is. The core CPI accelerated 0.2% for the month and 2.9% from a year ago, while the annual rate was in line with the forecast. The monthly gain was below the estimate. The report indicated that much of the inflation surge came from a 3.9% jump in energy prices. Really, 3.9%? Because frankly, it feels more like 50% increase. Because my gas in February of this year was like $4 a gallon in LA. And now it's $6.50. So tell me again, I think that's like over a 50% increase in my gas price, not a 3.9%. So I'm not sure where the 3.9% jump comes in, but that's not what I experience. Putting the 12-month increase at 23.5%. Oh, no, I don't want you to. 500 screaming million. That's a great way to spend a morning. I love that. Putting the 12-month increase at 23.5%, core commodity prices actually posted a 0.1% decline. I don't know what core commodities are. But anyway, inflation accelerated. Are you going to? I already did create one. Sorry, I have to sign in. Hold on. Damn it. Dang me. Dang me. I'm going to read this one next to you. So, next. Dang me. Dang me. Oh. Okay. Inflation climbed above 4% for the first time in 3 years, though the increase met expectations amid concerns over how much the surge in energy prices would impact the economy. The level was the highest since April 2023 and above the 3.8% reading from April. There it is. This is 2021. Joe Biden. This is the post-pandemic recovery, right? This is the post-pandemic where we get all the shit back and all the supply chains start coming back, and then things start to calm down a little bit in 2023 and 2022. 2022, they start to come down, and then 2024, and then 2025, and then 2026. However, stripping out volatile food and energy prices, the so-called core CPI accelerated 0.2% for the month and 2.9% from a year ago. While the annual rate was in line with the forecast, the monthly gain was below the 0.3 estimate and less than the 0.4. Okay, fine. Americans are getting squeezed financially by inflation that's back at a 3-year high, said Heather Long, chief economist at Navy Federal Credit Union. The frustration for many Americans is that so many of the basics are up in price right now. Gas, food, electricity, and medical care are all clear pain points that are above the 3% inflation. Ending the war in Iran will help moderate inflation, but the worst is likely still to come for rising food prices. The report arrives at a sensitive time. This is CNBC. These are the communists at CNBC. That's who's writing this. All the commies over there. Yeah. Bye, Carla. I love you. Let's see. And policymakers, as Federal Reserve officials contemplate their next move on interest rates, markets largely expect the rate-setting Federal Open Market Committee to remain on hold when the decision is released on June 17th, but investors will be looking for signs of how concerned officials are over the inflation surge. Well, apparently they don't care because they're all buying the AI companies. With the U.S. caught in ongoing hostilities with Iran, concerns are caught? No, we made this happen. No, this is a self-inflicted wound. Okay, nice try, CNBC, but we caught ourselves. We did this. No one else. Literally. Cannot blame another person. Concerns are rising that the surge in oil prices could spread to other energy-sensitive parts of the economy. Markets were rattled again Wednesday when President Trump warned that Iran will pay the price for not taking a peace deal, which is why he said today, no, I'm not going to bomb. I'm not going to bomb. Market, calm down. He's literally doing this for market manipulation. What the fuck do we not understand about this? And just how incredibly fucked up it is. Anyway, stock market futures held in negative territory, but were off their lows after the CPI release, while Treasury yields were flat. The report indicated that much of the inflation surge came from a 3.9% jump in energy prices, putting the 12-month increase at 23.5%. Core commodities prices actually posted a 0.1% decline on the month, indicating muted tariff pressures. Washington economic officials are going to redouble their efforts to tell Americans there isn't a cost of living crisis, said Chris Rupke, chief economist at Forward Bonds. The sky isn't falling after all, and the inflation risks for core consumer goods are in retreat for now. Food accelerated just 0.2%, and shelter costs, a key input for Fed policy, rose 0.3%, half the gain of April. Shelter, which makes up more than one-third of the CPI weighting, rose 3.4% annually. Elsewhere, transportation services. Well, didn't you see just now there was a breaking news? No, I'm not. I'm not going to bomb you on Thursday. I was kidding. I was just joshing. Elsewhere, transportation services fell 0.6%, a potential indicator that high energy costs were not filtering into other areas. Similarly, less energy services, also an indicator of whether higher oil costs were bleeding through, increased 0.3% after rising 0.5%. New vehicle costs declined 0.3%, and used cars and trucks nudged up 0.1%. However, airline fares rose 2.7%, a clear indication of the energy pass-through, while motor vehicle insurance declined 1.7%. Following the report, because they probably predict that people are going to drive less with higher gas prices. Following the report, futures markets indicated that the Fed is still likely to stay on hold through much of the year, while with traders pricing in the likelihood that the next move will be a hike in December. New Fed Chair Kevin Warsh has indicated he thinks rates can go lower as productivity gains from artificial intelligence will have a disinflationary impact on the economy. What in the world? Okay, higher productivity gains. So what do the people do who did those jobs before? Please tell me what the people who did those jobs that are going to be replaced by AI, because there will be mundane tasks within jobs. Because someone tried to sell me the story the other day that the level of employment won't change, just the work that you do, and that you won't have to schedule that meeting. AI will schedule it for you. You know what I'm saying? That's not true. Because there are entire jobs that could be replaced by AI. So how in the world? Yeah, and it's not learn to code, right? No, don't learn to code like we told you the last 20 years. Don't do that, because now that's a waste of fucking time. All the people who wasted money on those stupid trade schools. Come on. What are they going to do? And how are they acting like, ABC company is still going to pay, if it has 100 employees today, even with AI, it'll have 100 employees tomorrow. So you're telling me that it's not only paying for the subscription service of a bunch of AI task management things, because that's got to cost money, right? You're not doing that for free, right? You're paying somebody to use their enterprise level system to use AI to increase your productivity. Okay. And you're going to tell me that after increasing productivity, you still need those 100 people? What are they going to do? What are they going to do? God, stupid. Speaking of stupid. I'm actually gonna this is also from a couple days ago. This is Justin Wolfer's Substack, who we love. Justin Wolfer here at the lounge. Hi, Paul J. Yeah, baby. Oh, that must have been not fun. So welcome. We're about to depress you with the economy. I'm so sorry. Let me see how long this is, because I do want to. Okay, so we might go to that, but let me try reading this first and see if we can get through it without that. All right, here we go. Now this is putting the jobs report. We just talked about the consumer price index and all the inflation and shit like that. Now we're going to talk about the May jobs report. Yeah, plumbing, HVAC. Yeah, well, which are great jobs, you know. All right, the May jobs report was, frankly, really good news. 172,000 jobs added, more than double what forecasters expected, and 3 strong months in a row averaging around 188,000. A lot of my liberal friends have suggested this couldn't possibly be true, but I'm an empiricist and my job is to read the data as honestly as possible. There's no gain in pretending strong numbers are weak or fake or anything else. I joined Ed Elson today on Professor G Markets to walk through what these numbers actually say. Push back on some of the skepticism. Stay tuned. I'm going to say a lot more about this tomorrow and explain how healthcare and social services is propping up the job market, because that's where the jobs are coming. Effectively, all of the net job creation has been in healthcare and social assistance, and jobs are shrinking in the rest of the economy. Did you really? Oh, you're so sweet. Oh my gosh. Oh, did they like it? Or did they say your friends are insane and you should stay away from them? Oh, Paul, that makes my day. Oh my gosh. That makes my day. God, Paul, you really, you give so much more than you get. Let me tell you. Thank you for that. I also get into why markets sold off on what should have been a celebratory Friday. A strong jobs report changes the Fed's calculus on interest rates, lifting the odds of a hike. Suddenly, those long horizon AI bets start looking a lot less attractive. So a strong jobs report led to expectations of higher interest rates. Oh yeah, that's just a before and after. Let me go ahead and I'll little bit of a long, but I think it's really important.
Anyone who's got their profitability is all about the future, not the present, then higher interest rates.
Jobs last month, more than double what forecasters expected. The unemployment rate held steady at 4.3%, plus the March and April reports were also revised higher, adding another 93,000 jobs. However, this strong report caused a massive sell-off on Friday. The S&P closed down almost 3%, and the Nasdaq fell more than 4%. That was its worst drop since Liberation Day. So, here to unpack this report and also why markets reacted so badly, we are speaking with Justin Wolfers, Professor of Public Policy and Economics at the University of Michigan and also founder of Platypus Economics. Justin, great to see you. Thank you for joining us again on the show. I want to get into the market's reaction, but before we do that, let's first just make sense of this jobs report, which was seemingly really strong. 172,000 jobs added in May. The previous reports revised upward. Give us your read on what we saw in that jobs report.
I think we just saw really, really good news. I feel fairly confident and comfortable saying that, but I want to be clear, I will not normally see 172,000 and jump for joy. I'll normally say, look for confirmation with a few more months. And so one of the things that was so interesting is we're now at 3 very strong months in a row. So I'm more impressed by the fact that over the past 3 months, we've averaged job growth around about that pace. I think it's 188,000 a month. For folks who are keeping score at home, that's the sort of, my mum's a very, very hard taskmaster, but if I brought home jobs numbers like that, my mum would probably say, well done, Justin. Good job.
I love that, Paul.
And so I'd say that to the US economy. Well done.
What about people who people don't want to hear the good news because maybe their experience of the economy isn't great or they don't support the president? I mean, what would you say to those people who don't believe those numbers?
Yeah. So I'm actually going to put out a piece tomorrow, probably, if tomorrow's Wednesday, which dives into exactly that set of issues. And I'm going to relentlessly bore the hell out of my audience. So let me instead be fun and entertaining for yours. My favourite moment was, look, I like to read the data in the most honest way I can. And so when you see good news, you say, you beauty. My favourite moment was, by the way, I got just an enormous amount of social media vitriol for, it's completely clear that I've spent far too much time praising the president recently and people are upset at me. But, you know, my attachment's to the truth, not to a political narrative. My favourite of these, by the way, is Threads now has community notes.
Oh my God.
And there's a
Just
post I
point.
More than a year now.
God.
It seems as though the one place where the job market is really strengthening and growing is healthcare, and then everything else seems to be kind of lagging. Is that still true?
Yes, absolutely. So there's one sector called healthcare and social services, which has, since Trump became president, has created 901,000 jobs. Everything else, every other part of the economy, if you're not working in healthcare and social services, the rest of the economy actually has lost jobs.
Education, not just social services.
On its face, that's a very striking claim. And, you know, the last 3 months has been a little bit more mixed than that, but, you know, you never want to go off 1 month. So that's why I'm saying, you know, over the past year, it's all been healthcare and social services. Now, here's the thing. The rate at which we're creating jobs overall is fairly low. That's because population growth is low. So the number of jobs we need to create when there are fewer Americans is far lower. And so what that in turn means is there's always some industries doing better than others, but the closer you are to the whole not growing very much, the more likely it is you'll end up in a world in which one sector's doing all the positive and everything else is a negative. So the statistic, I think, is a very, very interesting talking point, but it may actually be somewhat less relevant than it sounds like, simply because in a low-growth economy, it's not unusual for a bunch of sectors to be declining.
Yeah. Now just turning to the stock market,
the low-growth economy
fell pretty precipitously, and it's kind of interesting why that is happening. Could you just walk us through why are investors not excited about this report that seems to be showing that the economy is doing well? Yeah.
So the first thing is, you know, very strong jobs numbers. So now what you want to do is go and play the game of Federal Reserve. And so the Fed was under some pressure to cut rates because it was worried about the labour market. We're not worried about it anymore. No pressure to cut rates. It was under pressure to raise rates because we're worried about inflation. So we went from a somewhat balanced argument to one of the arguments just going off the table altogether. So now the only question is, there's inflation out there, what do you want to do about it? And the argument would be between those who are like, well, it's a supply shock, let's just sit and wait for it to work its way through the system, and others who are like, I'm worried we're going to lose everything, let's hike rates, which is definitely the position a young Kevin Walsh would have taken. We'll see what a grown-up one does in just a few days' time. So step one, strong economy. Step two, higher interest rates for quite a fair way out now. And then step three is, as you said, markets overall shat the bed. There's sort of two US stock markets. So you were just reporting on the S&P 500 or on the NASDAQ.
Well,
Goldman Sachs has recently put together a very nice index, which is the S&P 500, and we're going to take out of it everyone who's AI or AI adjacent. So it's the non-AI stock market. And it turns out the non-AI stock market rose by like a couple of hundredths of a percentage point, but it rose. You know, so I want you to think of it as flat. So all the market reaction, none of it was in Main Street. It was all in Silicon Valley. And then the question would be, why would that be? And that's because the AI bet's a long run bet. That OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, and NVIDIA are going to be worth a lot in the future in our new AI-driven future. The higher our interest rates, the less investors value profits that are going to occur 10, 20, 30 years in the future. And so that's exactly what happened. So the particularly startups, but generally anyone who's got their profitability is all about the future, not the present, then higher interest rates hurt them. And so I think that's the story for what happened. Now, I think the somewhat broader and more interesting thing is the logic of that pretty much makes sense, but what it reveals is the vulnerability of parts of this boom, which is if there's a bunch of AI investments that make a lot of sense when interest rates are 3%, but no sense when interest rates are 5%, then that says fairly small tweaks could have big effects on stocks, which is literally what we saw on Friday. So I'm not saying anything new, but it sort of says strap in because changes in investor sentiment could have big effects on the AI sector, which is now such a big part of US stocks.
Yes, and it was one of the key themes going into 2026 from an investor perspective, which is that we were entering what we all thought was a rate cutting environment. And now it appears after this data, which, yes, gives us good news, but it essentially means that we all have one problem, and that problem is inflation. What do we want to do about it? The only real solution to that, if you're at the Federal Reserve, is you hike rates. And now we look at the odds on Kalshi of a rate hike before the end of the year in 2026, it's gone up to around 52%. So it seems very probable. I think we're all on the same page. If we enter a rate hiking environment, that's not a great thing for stocks, particularly these tech stocks that you mentioned. But then there's a question of how probable is it really? And that probably goes back to inflation. How bad is this inflation problem? Yes, it's nice that we have this employment problem out of the way, we think, based on the jobs report. But I guess my question to you is, given what you're seeing in the inflation, given how quote unquote good this jobs report actually was, how likely is a rate hike really?
I think it's currently more likely the next move is up. It may not be too far away. There is an unknown, which is who is Kevin Warsh. We're going to learn more about that over the next few months. This old game, it gets played out every couple of years, and then a bright young explainer, in this case it's your turn, Ed, has to explain good news is bad news. And I've always, so you see this every...
All right, I'm going to end that here. I'll go ahead and copy that on, because there's another piece that he put out, his piece from yesterday, which I'll include. But I kind of want to jump because I'm running a little bit out of time. There's a couple stories I want to make sure we talk about today. Thank you for letting me jump. And that's this is from the Jerusalem Post. Board of Peace won't wait for Hamas response to disarmament plan, source tells Post. Because I was looking last night and thinking about, okay, what's the Board of Peace up to? We know that they've got this private bank account at Goldman Sachs or whatever it is. No, JP Morgan. So they have a private bank account at JP Morgan, even though the money that supports the Board of Peace and their supposed mission of rebuilding Gaza, that all their money is now in a private bank account, and versus the World Bank, where there was an account especially set up to hold monies from the I understand. I can't stand it either. No, I don't like economics. This little economist who was in the Clinton administration, I don't know. I don't remember that. I don't remember that guy. But anyway, so the Board of Peace, if you recall, we were looking at their financial kind of mishmash in the last couple of weeks, and then this piece came up as I was looking for information on what the latest was, and I thought it might be interesting for us to catch up on. So this is again from today. Looks like while talks are underway in Cairo between Hamas and mediating countries Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey regarding the disarmament of the terrorist organization, a source close to Gaza's Board of Peace told the Jerusalem Post that the council is not waiting for Hamas's response. This constitutes a serious breach of the agreement, the source told the Post. As long as this remains the situation, the Board of Peace is not able to invest in long-term infrastructure or housing projects in areas under Hamas. The source emphasized that in the meantime, initiatives will be advanced in areas not controlled by Hamas. Among the projects currently being promoted by the Board of Peace in territories outside Hamas control are the construction of temporary alternative housing, efforts to address education and healthcare needs, and the deployment of an international stabilization force, the ISF. What could go wrong? All Gaza terror groups share common. In recent days, discussions have been taking place between senior Hamas officials and representatives of the mediating countries. The talks are aimed at drafting a framework for Hamas's disarmament. A source familiar with the matter told the Post that all terrorist organizations operating in the Gaza Strip have coordinated a common position ahead of the negotiations taking place this week. Okay. Another source familiar with the discussions told the Post that, oh my God, stop. The talks are simple, partly because the talks are not simple, partly because of the current situation in Gaza. However, there is a desire to make progress. Wait, that's it? That's it? I thought there was more. Okay. Okay. All right, let me make sure. Actually, there's one more thing. Hold on, please. Hold on. Remember what we talked about the other day, the litigation tracker? Okay, so I've been doing some work on that. I'm not ready to report on it yet. And you know how my reporting is. You know, I do the best I can. But anyway, I'm not ready to share with you yet, but I am looking. There is actually not one place where you can get just a summary of all the cases that Trump has brought and the cases he's lost, et cetera, dismissed, et cetera. It's the summary of that information is not in one place as far as I can tell on the internet. I spent a lot of time yesterday trying to look for it. There's definitely litigation trackers. They just don't summarize kind of top level numbers. But just to give you an idea of what has been widely reported, including by ProPublica, in the first quarter of 2025, let's see, wait, where was it? Where's the 23,000 number? Shit. Damn. Oh man, come on. I had all this great stuff. Oh yeah. Okay. In March, they reported that the DOJ dropped 23,000 criminal investigations in a shift to immigration, and that was in the first few months. They basically dumped a bunch of different cases. So we'll be talking about like all the litigation that that the administration has faced. Is Israel going to disarm? Because from my eyes, they're the real terrorists. Yeah, exactly. Just so tired of the double standard of hypocrisy. No, listen, this whole Board of Peace bullshit too. I don't know what the fuck they're up to, but they're not up to any good. And so we definitely have to keep an eye on what's happening there. Yeah, it totally is. Slumpo taps U.S. Attorney Jay Clayton as DNI. Oh, interesting. I don't remember I know that name, but I can't remember why I remember him. Yeah, no, Meowing Star, you're absolutely right. We know who the terrorists are. I mean, this is genocide. You know, like I was talking about yesterday, the fact that we cannot accept basic shared facts about what's happening is it's just absolutely mind-blowing to me. And I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know how we hold each other accountable better. Jay Clayton, appeared to baselessly speculate about fraud. Oh yeah, no, they're coming for LA in a big way. Go ahead. Please do. We can't wait. Just kidding. We can wait. Anyway. All right. Well, that's it for me for today. I'm going to have much more for you tomorrow. Epistemic fragmentation. There we go. Epistemic fragmentation is the main crisis of our times, in my opinion. It's true, though. It's true. Look it up. It's true. Anyway. All right. Thank you so much for coming. I really deeply, deeply appreciate it. We made 1,500 subscribers. Whoop, whoop. Only took us 4 years. I mean, come on. That's fantastic. and almost every day. I think it's great. But anyway, thank you so much for being part of that and for being part of the show. This show would not be anything without the chat and without people watching. I really appreciate it. You just don't even know how much I appreciate it. You don't know how much I love you. You don't know how much I care. Wait, get out of there, duck. There we go. You don't know how much I love you. You don't know how much I care. But I do. I care a lot. I hit the button too soon. What's this? Oh, this is a good one. Oh, and then there's always this one. Faith over fear. Faith over fear, y'all. Come on. Wait, and here's one for Turd.
Two questions. One, kind of housekeeping. Since you are announced as the acting attorney general today, when is Pam Bondi's last day on the job? And is this a position that you would like full-time?
As to whether or not I want this job, I did not ask for this job. I love working for President Trump. It's the greatest honor of a lifetime. And if he chooses to nominate somebody else and asks me to go do something else, I will say, thank you very much. I love you, sir.
So be like Turd. Love more. All right. I'll see you tomorrow morning. I love you guys. Bye.